Welcome aboard, kids, and not from Milwaukee, Oregon. You want to do back out of the way.
That was a really good take one.
It was there.
You ready?
Hit the lights. You've discovered the Halfwattpod Podcast. We want to educate and entertain by tapping into the most trusted source of new technology, the ones installing and innovating it. You, the tradespeople that build from the ground up. Join us as we talk with industry leaders, veteran contractors, and even some young blood.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Today is from Milwaukee, not Milwaukee, Oregon, but Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My guest today is Austin Dorman. We are here at Pipeline, right? Tell me what you do, Austin.
Yeah, so I'm a senior product manager on the PPE team. So my job basically is to work on new product development. So I work very closely with end users out in the field, understand what their specific needs are within projects, and then work with the engineering team to deliver on those solutions.
So when you say you work with folks out in the field, tell us what that means in Milwaukee terms.
Yeah, for sure. So my big focus is actually truly getting out in the field, working belly to belly with these individual end users, seeing some of their frustrations day to day that they have with some of their different current PPE solutions. A really good example, getting out in the field and understanding when people are tweaking or changing their current solutions. That to us right there is a just first indicator, hey, we need to innovate here. We need to change something here. Great example, thinking of our hard hats and helmets. And we were going out on site and seeing people drilling holes and putting zip ties in to hold pens, or duct taping and super gluing lights onto the front of their head protection. We saw that as a very easy way to innovate, and we include actually these clips now with our hard hats and helmets that clip into the front or clip into the side to hold ink saws, pencils, or even just clipping in their lights in the front.
Okay, so this seems to be like a standard thing I've come across since I've been at Milwaukee, and every time I turn around, there's a group out in the field talking to people using your product, and then you're bringing that back in and changing the manufacturing of it, but yet still being backwards compatible with the stuff that you've already built.
Yes.
You're in the same line here with this product?
Yes, very focused. So a good example, again, is our head protection. It's our bolt head protection. So it's in the PPE space, this is our system. So we have our M12, we have our M-Team, M18, we have Pack Out. Okay. For us, this is our system approach. You have your helmet or your hard hat. That is essentially your rolling base or your power tool. And then we have all the other accessories like face shields, eye visors, earmuffs, sun protection that clip into it. And as we're continuing to go forward and look at all these different innovative solutions, we're always looking at what we got, make sure that it's always still backwards and forwards compatible.
Nice.
So there's a lot of different solutions. You see some today at the Pipeline event. We're coming out with some gasketed solutions. So that's a rubber seal over top of the face shield. That way, if you're working with drilling overhead and you have debris falling down, it sweeps it away and keeps it up out of your eyes and prevents that egress. Some other things, we're getting into the mirrored style of face shields and eye visors. So really just making sure we focus on getting guys to look great on the job site. So that's what our big focus is. If you,
that's important to
look
me.
good, work good. That's what it is.
Yeah, so always want to look like a wide receiver when I'm on the job site.
We like to call it Maverick. We're a Top Gun.
Yeah, there we go.
I love that. I love the fact that my experience here has been phenomenal to understand the concepts that go on in Milwaukee Tools. And so you're a part of that, and that's important to me. And it's become kind of an underlying theme of everything I've looked at here is that if you make the investment into Milwaukee Tools, they make the investment back in to the series of tools you're purchasing. All the way through to the nth degree. That is not something I find in other tool companies. I'll just be honest with you. I just have not seen that in other tool companies, which makes me, kind of more than just a spokesman for it, because it's absolutely what's essential in how we do what we do.
Yeah, so we look at it like in the office when we talk about people on the competitive side not really knowing those user needs and user frustrations and just launching new products. We call that the lick and stick approach. They're going to some sort of distributor or some sort of vendor and taking a product off shelf, slapping their name on it and saying, here you go, Mr. User, here's a new solution for you.
But it's got your brand name on it, so you're assuming that it's something that you've developed yourself, and that's just not the case. Yeah.
So that's the big thing with us. Again, this isn't just PP, this is company wide. We are very user focused. Me as well as all the other product managers on our staff, they get out in the field regularly and are regularly understanding what those individual needs are. So this is across the whole company. We are not going to do that lick and stick approach. When we develop a product, everything is developed here in-house, from the ground up. All the way from that initial user research to validating prototypes to all the commercialization efforts that come after that. All of that is in-house and from the ground up.
So now, are you going to just places in Milwaukee, or are you going throughout the country?
I would say throughout the country, and in some instances around the world.
Okay.
There are different needs. We know, especially in the PPE space, because safety requirements can be so different from not only region to region within the U.S., but country to country. So depending on the project we do have dedicated product managers in some of these rest of world areas that we partnered very closely with. But sometimes it still benefits us to go out and get into the Canadian market and understand, hey, this is a really big need for them, or go down to Latin America and understand, hey, this is a good opportunity. We should start looking at it this way. Hey, can we implement this into the U.S. as well? So there's a lot of different changes there, but across the country, we do a lot of research in all these different states. Another good example, thinking of like the cooling side, we just launched a new suite of cooling products. So between helmet and hard hat liners, cooling towels, skull caps, Wisconsin, we're known for being cold. We're doing this research, and hey, we're not finding the right users in Wisconsin, obviously. So that's where we got to go down to. We got to go down to Florida. We got to go down to Arizona, your Texas, and really make sure that we're satisfying those users. Those are the ones that we know are going to be buying in significant quantities. Like it's middle of June right now, and it's 60, 70 degrees outside.
It's beautiful,
but
ain't that way in Louisiana.
We do not need cooling as bad. So that's like some of those instances where we want to get out across the whole country and make sure that we're touching base with all these different end users.
I love that. I love that concept. And in my research this morning, I was looking at some of the portfolio of the parent company who owns Milwaukee, and it's replete all the way through the company. It's not just Milwaukee Tools, it's also all the other brands. They do the same exact thing. And it's like, okay, so this is a culture in a company that I think is important for my listeners to know.
Yep.
And that you're buying a quality product and you're not getting sold a bill of goods. And there's a lot of, we saw a lot of R&D yesterday in our little tiny tours through a couple of buildings. It was apparent that was a major part of how your company operates.
And barely scratching the surface.
I could tell. I could tell that they gave us literally two pretty good tours of what we saw, and I knew that we hadn't scratched the surface.
Yep.
I knew it for a fact.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted to make clear.
How many accessories have you guys made for that hard hat?
Yeah.
Oh, the exact 100 number escapes me, but it is a significant amount because we have so many different color options. We have so many different styles of the head protection as well, between the helmets, the hard hats, and now just with the ensuite of so many different face shields, visors, sun protection, all of it. And yeah, it's significant. And the cool thing is it all clips together. That is by far the big benefit.
But think of, if you look at the tool line now, right? Because Milwaukee's gone into chainsaws, they've got into weed eaters, they've gone into compactors. So all these different items that I've seen here, all your PPE has to work for all of them.
Oh yeah.
And so you have to mix and match to figure out what's going on, because a guy who's cutting grass isn't the same as a guy who's drilling holes in the wall.
We talk about that on the PPE side so much. You look at like some of these different like electrician specific tools or OPE specific tools. PPE, we don't have that luxury. We know that we're going to fit so many different users. Obviously in like the electrical space, we have some that might work better for those users than some of our other like gloves and things like that.
Right.
But we have to be thinking of all users across the board.
I love that. So you brought us a bump cap to show. Let's look at that.
Yeah, the bump cap, really exciting. So this is one we have coming out January 2025.
Nice.
So what it is, it starts off obviously very stylish hat.
I like it.
This
Best
was a big one.
show.
You looked great in it. Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
No, so it's one of these when getting out in the field again, understanding there's a lot of users that don't need helmets and hard hats just with the style of work they're doing.
Yeah.
Think of like your automotive, your service work, plumbers, things like that. They don't fully need the hard hat or helmet, but they're wearing a ball cap. and they're still getting lacerations, punctures, abrasions to the head. This was an easy solution to really add a plastic shell.
Nice.
So inside of this hat, what we have here is, again, just a plastic shell, and it is specifically designed to eliminate.
Now, wait a minute. You just took this plastic shell off the shelf from some other vendor, right? I know it.
Nice try. No.
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
This was actually very specifically designed to factor in all these different shapes up top. These shapes are there to help distribute that actual force felt and eliminate punctures.
Nice.
So the demo I'm showing off is showing how we actually reduce or eliminate any sort of punctures to the head. So that's where this came from. Obviously, we need to make sure it breathed really well. So we have these aeration holes on the side. And then what I really like is the shape of it. So this is where you can see like your forehead is a little bit lower than the back of your head. This is designed to fit your head that way so that it gives you really good fit, and then the way that it ends up flexing as well. But where the real innovation comes in is this inside liner. So we have a lot larger liner. What that does is it gives us better side protection. And then this comfortable foam gives us really good top protection as well.
So that, can I see this real quick?
Of course.
So wow, that is really cool. So from the ground up designed specifically for this function, and not just, hey, we just slapped a label on it and now we can jack the price up because it has our label. I love that. A lot of thinking goes into everything that you guys do.
Big one was the shell design. We went through probably 50 or 100 different iterations of geometries and still tweaking. And then the foam selection, we ended up looking at like 30 or 40 different foams.
No way.
And we had to choose the one that worked the best for impact or like bumps, but then also felt the most comfortable. So there was a lot of different tweaks there that we ended up looking at.
And there's a lot of foam out there. It's not like after you go and look into it, there's a lot of different high density types of foam, some that recover quick, some that don't.
The number of foam samples I had in my office where I was like, too soft, too hard. Oh, this one performs well. Okay, I was looking at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Yeah, it's super exciting because I think it's a very stylish looking hat too. You're going to get people that normally aren't wearing head protection. This is an easy step up into realizing still look good. It's still very comfortable, but now you're getting that protection from lacerations, punctures.
Tyler didn't even look like he was wearing a bump cap.
No,
it just looked like a stylish hat.
No, it just looked like a stylish hat. But the whole concept behind it is, bump caps are something I saw when I was in the Navy that we would wear. Sometimes we did need a hard hat when you're in the yards, and because anytime you put a regular hard hat on, the older design, it sits up so high that immediately you find that you are hitting your head on everything because now you're an inch or two taller.
Yep.
The new design of the hard hats with the lower profile is an awesome change. Yeah. That is an awesome change, and the honeycomb interiors for the shock absorbing, all that stuff. So talk about some of those innovations.
Yeah, certainly. So our big push right now is from hard hats to helmets. Okay. So the helmets just provide significantly more protection. The big reason there, if you look at our helmet, this is it's a Type 2, ANSI Type 2. So traditionally your hard hats are ANSI Type 1.
Okay.
What that means is it's anything falling from above hitting you on top of your head, that is ANSI Type 1 protection. Our helmets are ANSI Type 2, so they still protect from the top, but then they also protect from the front, back, and sides.
Okay.
So that's the added benefit there. Then when you look at the leading cause of traumatic brain injuries on job sites, it's slips, trips, and falls. So people fall, they hit the back of their head, or they're up in the air and they swing into something. Yes, it's actually a really big issue. So what we actually have, something as simple as having that chin strap helps make sure that head protection stays on.
Nice.
That's really big. But then the foam inside is what really helps secure the head and make sure that we're eliminating those traumatic brain injuries.
Beautiful. Are you going to put RFID in those things so that?
We're looking into an on-suite of different products. We are just getting started. That's our model right now.
We're
just getting started.
100 years, baby.
But more specifically in PPE, we are just getting started. I mean, we have a slew of different products already, but we still have a very robust roadmap that we can continue to go out and just innovate on different solutions.
I'm so excited you just spent some time with us. That's great. And the RFID thing is a good idea because you can put all your biometric information in it. So if they, see you laying there, oh my God, who is this guy? And it can. Yeah. Well, he was Mike Brooks, but thank you very much.
Yes, of course.
So today we have Between Two Wrenches. This episode I am officially calling Between Two Podcasts.
Yeah.
Cooper, Phil, how's it going, guys?
Oh,
Fantastic.
Man. Beautiful day. Beautiful
Glad to
day
be here.
Yep, we're at Milwaukee Pipeline 2024. They were recording a few episodes with Milwaukee earlier, and I just had to get them in to talk to them for a few minutes about what they do and what their show's about.
As Mike was sitting down in his stool, I ripped him out of it, and I was like, "No, I gotta get attention at some point."
Yeah, you're pissing Tyler
Tyler
off.
needs some love. He's also mad because he doesn't have sunglasses, and the rest of us are wearing sunglasses.
I'm so angry right now.
On an
It's all right.
on no video
The
podcast.
white light is blinding.
If I had a beard, it would be young ZZ Top and the producer all sitting down together.
Frank Beard didn't have one. The drummer for ZZ Top. His
that's
name
right,
is Frank
yeah.
Beard.
Thank you.
And he's
Had
the only
no
one that
beard.
didn't- Yeah.
The more you know.
If you need
I'll learn drums.
music trivia, he's your guy. Let me
So
tell you.
20 years in radio, and like I am mad at myself because of all the knowledge that could be in my brain. Is like, oh, I could tell you Annie Lennox's third song off of her second album. Like,
right.
quantum physics, not real. You know, but I'll tell you what.
What's that one joke you accidentally learn or remember a bus schedule, and then you're like, damn, there goes my uncle's birthday. Like, it's gone.
I know.
There's only a certain amount of room.
If it wasn't for my phone, I'd be like, I don't even know. Like, when's mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that calendar comes in clutch.
Ding. Oh, it's today. Celebration.
So we're nearing the end of the event a little bit.
She's
and
already thrown
got
the
cue
sign.
cards.
I didn't even look over to see. I just knew it was coming. So
hypothetical
She got
red
the
light is on.
energy.
Yeah.
She's like, listen, boys.
so we're coming to the end of the event. You guys have been walking around the floor for a while. What's the thing that stands out to you the most?
Man.
Is it like just the passion for innovation?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's everywhere. Like we were slapped in the face with the speakers first thing this morning.
Yeah.
And like,
Also, the fact that I've heard the phrase daisy chain like 40 times today.
Yep.
For me, it's
this daisy chains and this daisy chains. And like,
For me, it's
is this in
disruptive.
context? I just
Right.
disrupted.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
disrupting is the
Disruptive.
term.
I love that
Disruption
term.
to
Like
these
as soon as I heard that this morning, I was like, well, that's just a catchphase. And then like the second guy said it, and then the
Yeah.
third, and then I was like,
They really mean it.
What was
And
the
it-
one
and it is.
They're
yesterday?
doing it. Mm-hmm. What?
What was the one yesterday?
Robust.
Robust.
Yeah.
Robust.
I was like, this has been
Robust.
an extremely robust experience.
Yeah. I think the word we heard was reposado. I mean, it was,
Reposado.
It also started with an R, but it was definitely tequila.
give me another round of that reposado.
You guys were on a different tour than we were.
I mean, tell you what, they were like, oh, there's beverages at the end of the tour you can take on the bus. I'm like, it's probably not. And then like angel sounds came out of the cooler, and it was like,
yeah.
oh, we got some Nuglaris in here.
Yeah, I
Good.
got the spotted cow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's the
good
tour we
stuff.
were on. Robust.
Robust. It was very robust.
Robust cream ale.
This is
Set the tone for the day.
this is your guys' first year here as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
This is our
Long
first
time
year.
listeners, first time callers.
Yes.
And you guys are a mechanical shop.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. So we're off-road is kind of like our niche, but we do general repair and maintenance, but we do everything from oil changes to lift kits, wheels, tires, and then if you can dream it, we can build it.
Oh, very
That's
cool.
awesome.
So we've got a dedicated.
So
And people
how long
dream
until you
really
guys-
crazy stuff.
How long
let me tell you.
until you guys have like a TLC show or
Right.
You know, or
Yeah.
Discovery
Well, it's-
show
it's-
or
we were
whatever.
just talking about that.
Two more pipeline trips. That's it.
Right.
We went down.
I'm just
that
looking
road.
over there and seeing if we're getting the nod that we're going to get invited back. And I have a feeling she's holding that face real firm. Like, yeah. Thanks, guys.
We dabble in a lot of different things. We enjoy it. We've kind of went down that reality TV show kind of rabbit hole, and then you were just talking to Robbie Layton about we dabbled with the YouTube because I don't know, like our shop's fun to watch. Like the stuff we do is cool. And
Seeing people build stuff. I mean, especially for me, I know literally nothing about cars. So watching you guys do stuff is like what would be like a peasant watching a wizard, like in olden days. It's like
There's also been a lot of wizard and witches references in the last
There
8 minutes.
has been,
Are
yeah.
they making a new Wizard of Oz? Like,
Yeah.
What are these dudes going to talk about on
it's
this
been
podcast?
quite disruptive.
It really has.
Yeah, it's
but
It's
it was
a
robust.
robust
Robustly
robust
A lot
disruptive.
of the
man.
ratings before it comes out 5 stars.
Yeah.
Extremely robust.
And we're just
witches.
getting started.
Robust
We're
witches.
just getting started.
We're just getting
I
started.
am interested. I mean, because I agree with you. The innovations that these guys have it's crazy how much work they put into finding the problems.
Yeah.
So that they can fix them.
Right.
You know, like talking to a lot of these guys who go out into the nation and they just go on construction sites. They go and work with techs like us and they go, what are your issues with these things? And things like you got wrist buttons so that you can control things that are, you know, like vacuum cleaners and other stuff. And then lights that have solutions for problems I didn't realize were driving me insane for the last 5 years of my job, you know? So the innovation is great, but is there a product? Is there a thing from your guys' perspective of mechanical work, working on cars that really stands out?
What's the game changer?
Well, it's got to be the impact drivers, or I mean, they're really just. It's not like the drill driver, impact driver of old. Obviously, it's
right.
You know that they're half inch drive or 3/8 drive. What used to be used in all the other trades, and then it was like, oh, I guess we'll use that now in the automotive shop. Is that now it is a dedicated? They're finding all of those problems, and they're like, how do we make this smaller, faster, stronger, more efficient?
Yeah,
and we're not tethered to cords anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So like any kind of innovation in that space is, you know, they just came out with a DA. We don't do a ton of body work, but I mean, that is kind of where I cut my teeth was auto body school. But they just came out with like a cordless DA. And it's like, man, like that's brilliant. And the fact that he was telling us about it, he's like, you know, when we were watching people in a shop, we noticed that they would go and to find their wrench to like change the pad. And he's like, so we just integrated that tool in it. So there is no other wrench.
Right.
It's just a piece of the tool. And it's just like,
It feels like do that. Nothing is ever
talk
finished.
about wizardry.
Right.
There's never like a finished product because anything can always be improved upon. And I think that they don't move through the process of putting equipment like that out. And they're like, we got it, like we're good. And there's always
If they screw
hands
up
on the
or
ground.
if they
They're
disrupt
like, we can make
themselves.
this better. And
Right.
They'll stop everything. They'll do it all again.
Well, and it's like an art form, right? Like me, as I write, I do podcasting, I do art, and all the time I'm questioning, how can I do this better?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm going back, okay, I listened to those episodes. I could have done these things better on those episodes. The sound could have been better. The editing could have been better. I'm constantly
Could have brought your sunglasses.
I could have brought my sunglasses and stopped talking about witches and wizards. But like
It's a robust thought.
But like
It's really disruptive when you do that.
Yeah, when you
seems
cut
like
them off,
That's how they are approaching a trade, right? The trades, they are going, this is an art form to us. And we are constantly being better and getting better and looking at how we can do it.
and we're not done.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Just getting
right?
started.
That's the other
Yeah.
one that they keep saying.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true. Like I was talking to the impact wrench guy.
Yeah.
He was like, it's already an M12 with 250 foot-pounds of torque. And we still came out with one M12 with 550 pounds of torque.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I mean,
jeez.
You're changing tires with an M12.
Yeah.
What? Like, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
With that tiny
absolutely.
battery. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
That packs a wall up.
what about you guys?
Yeah.
What about you guys? What is your
What
big
about
takeaway?
you guys?
What about you guys?
You guys.
Besides what we already know.
What
that
about?
you're disruptive and robust.
He's disruptive. I'm robust.
Gotcha.
Well,
Rename the
we'll deal
podcast.
with that at the bar later.
Right. Well, there's a lot to unpack.
It's like, we better get there now.
I've learned how important it is to have electricians at these events because none of us can pay attention for more than 2 freaking seconds. So I actually finally, after 8 years in the trade, know what one key does. And I'm like, wow, I really need to pass this on to my friends because they made the coolest thing ever for us. Or it kind of, I think it started with us. Now it's pretty much, for
Everybody,
all the
yeah.
trades.
Yeah.
And we probably know the least about it.
Yeah. Honestly, that was eye-opening.
I have my hand up and other questions. What is this you have, sir?
Dude, we're going around looking at all these power tools. And we're like, oh, this is great. We go through concrete. Oh, look at these new lights. And then Mike comes over. He's like, guys, they have asset management that is just out of this world. And we're like,
What?
why are we care? We don't care.
Sure.
Then he pulls us over there and we start talking to the guy. And within 5 minutes,
We're like,
me and Gage
oh,
are
wow.
salivating over this stuff.
Well, don't say that.
we were
You were
robust.
salivating,
Robustly salivating.
whispering robust.
and they were just getting started.
Hey, that's disruptive to this conversation.
I think we're going to set a record for,
I think so.
for 25
Impossible.
minutes.
We also just lost our invitation to Milwaukee Pipeline for an
No, no,
They're
they're gonna love
be like,
this.
you were very disruptive.
So you could come back. That's how we got back. Well, how'd you
But
get
yeah,
your
like
second
the all of the smart tools and all of that is really, really cool. And we're trying to work with them to do a whole episode about what it is and how just far ahead it goes. So I think that's the biggest thing for both of us. That and the lights. The
Right.
lights are cool.
Where are we at on
Yeah.
time? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
Man, we got.
I think we can
What should we
all
talk
say
about now? Oh,
something
there's we
three
got the
times.
there it
card
is.
is up. It's
I
official
beat
now.
you to it. I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to belabor with just the 5 in the air. I was
Right.
like, give me that cue card.
So I mentioned it earlier. You guys have the podcast Between Two Wrenches, but your actual is your shop name also Max Built, or is that just the YouTube channel? Or?
No, Max Built Off-Road is the name of our shop.
Okay.
And you can find us.
And manufacturing, don't forget.
Oh yeah,
the pieces
and
parts.
MFG. So yeah,
Nice.
we try to do a lot of things. I have a very short attention span, so and I try to do as much as I humanly
This is breaking
can.
news to me. I don't.
This just in.
Wow.
You're being disruptive.
Phil's not a detail guy.
Phil's not a detail guy.
What did you say? You're like, when I walked in, you're like, well, of all the two of you who was going to be late, it wasn't going to be you.
Yeah.
And then I asked, I'm like, is there anything I can do? I think Anna was in here, and I was like, anything I can do? She's like, can you go get Phil? I was like, I was going to help you move chairs, but I'll
The reason that we got 19 minutes for this podcast was definitely my fault. I was like, we got all kinds of time. Oops,
Is
sorry.
it finding Phil Taylor's job?
It should be. Oh, we're delegating. TQ. You are
Well, I know. After
Apple Tracker.
Yeah.
Order it.
His
Oh, he doesn't have a phone. Never mind.
yeah, he's been struggling
Never mind.
with the keeping
Can't
track of
use
things
the
lately.
Apple Tracker. Never mind.
Oh man, I'm glad that we just put that right into the podcast space to just cement that
will
moment
live
in time
forever.
for TQ.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, she's crisis management. I'm like, where were you last night, girl? Oh, there was a bit of a crisis here. We needed you. We almost lost.
But there's-
Another
don't worry,
iPhone
there's-
bit the dust.
There's another opportunity in a couple of hours to manage some
I
crisis.
heard in a couple minutes there's
It's gonna pop
some
off.
sketchy things are going to happen. They're flipping
I actually feel like I'm going through crisis right now.
We could honestly use some wizardry. That'd be awesome
Yeah.
if his phone showed up at the beer garden.
That would be hilarious.
I was just waiting for his backpack to start ringing and be like, bro. It's always the one pocket out of the 40 in that backpack that you didn't check.
That would be me after
Oh,
like,
dude, I would
actual crisis panic for
Yeah.
10 minutes. And
Ah,
oh my God, it's right there.
Oh,
it's in my back pocket.
Anybody see my phone when it's in your hand? Like, I've been looking for it.
Yeah, I totally forgot I changed the case
Sorry, I
4 weeks
blacked
ago.
out. Must have had a really
been
robust
disruptive.
coffee this morning.
Yeah, but we do a lot at the shop, a lot of different things, and the reality TV show was a possibility. And then like the thing about us, I think, is the authenticity of it, and that's what keeps the shop humming. That's what keeps the projects coming, and that's what keeps our clients excited about what we do. Is not only the crazy stuff you see at the end of it, but the attitude and the energy that the team has, and knowing that if it was a television show or a YouTube channel, like some of that authenticity just naturally goes away.
Yeah.
Whether
it
it's
has to be
scripted
so
or they're like,
intentional.
hey, we need it to be a little more dramatic. Well, the
But
drama
it's
comes.
not.
Let me tell you what, the drama is here. You just have to wait for it to happen. Usually it's in
It's
the
a
form of
shop.
And I
You
think
stick
that's
around
what's-
long enough.
Something's going to
plenty.
fly through the air.
I think that's what's great about doing a podcast or a YouTube show is like the fact that you can be as authentic as you want to be, and it shows, right? Like when we do this podcast, we're talking to people and we're earnestly trying to tell their stories and educate people, and people respond to that. We're not looking to make ourselves look better. Like I can't make myself look better by talking about the trades because I'm a tech that like I'm constantly asking questions because I don't know.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to look dumb because it means I get to learn answers, right? And
But that's also relatable. Like I think that's what people come to these
Peace.
types of channels. Deuces.
Because 2-minute warning,
because
or
they
she's
can
like,
relate.
Yeah.
That curiosity, like that inquisitiveness, like that's a connecting emotion for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know, not to get too deep.
No. Also, to your point, we know from the listeners they want to hear your guys' story and not ours. So
Yeah.
That's
well, that's good.
that's
People
for
are
sure.
tired
They
of
know
listening to us.
they know who we are.
Right.
we can,
exactly.
we can definitely do a super hyper extended version of this over the interwebs.
Yeah, for sure.
This will be like
Yeah.
the teaser episode, the
Right.
pipeline.
Yeah, right.
You know, a little sampler platter here.
Because we're down in the pipeline.
See?
Yeah, it'll be a more robust episode. For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be as disruptive with people telling us how much time we have left. She is going to murder all of us.
Let me sing us out.
1 minute.
One minute.
I think we're gonna,
One more beer? No, one more. Gotcha.
anything else you guys
Uno
want to tell our audience?
Yeah, shout yourselves out on something.
No, but follow along.
Yeah,
And,
at Max Built on pretty much everything, or Max Built Off Road. We're on the Gram, we're on the TikTok, we're on Facebook,
Cool.
LinkedIn. We're not on LinkedIn. I don't know. Somebody keeps on telling me like, "Oh, you did just hear a story on LinkedIn?" I'm like, "No,
Nobody does
man,
that.
nobody does that, sir."
We post on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Because a lot of tradesmen are on.
Barely.
Maybe we're just missing the boat.
maybe
it's time to be disruptive.
we could be LinkedIn famous.
You need to disrupt LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn
I said
famous.
Lincoln Park. You need to
Lincoln Park?
disrupt it.
Yeah.
All right. It was good to meet you guys,
Yes,
and we'll have you on
appreciate it.
again.
And,
Thanks, guys.
and we're just getting started.
Love you, Milwaukee.
Let's get it started.
Welcome aboard. Josh, how you doing? What do you do here?
You know, I work on our job site lighting. So,
Okay.
As a lot of my coworkers tell me, not the brightest product manager, but I do have the brightest products. So,
I don't buy that. Tell me what you've got. And this has become like LEDs and LED technology
Yes.
is a huge thing of mine. So I love this.
we'll start from the beginning. So, I've been doing this for about 10 years, working on lights. So, big thing is, I'm sure you guys have seen, a lot of halogen 10 years ago, a lot of cords.
Yep.
Job sites are continuing to change. Everything starts going LED, still cords, and now you're starting to see a lot more rechargeable products, getting the cords off a lot safer. That's exactly what we're trying to do, get that evolving job site, come out with a bunch of new solutions we have across the board. To give you an idea, we have about 60 plus lighting solutions
Wow.
in just the past decade of us really focusing on this. And biggest thing you could see, we got very small lights.
I saw that earlier, and I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
is cool.
I'm going to be gunning for that one too when it comes out.
Well, this would be a good trivia question. What do you think when we're on a job site, the most common light we see?
Flashlight on the
Flashlight.
phone.
Flashlight on an iPhone.
Yes.
Yep.
This is job security right here. We
Yeah.
we got to get those phones off the site. This is going to be our portable, low-profile pocket floodlight right here.
Okay.
As you can see, same size as your phone. Unlimited rotation.
Nice. And you can hang it from something if you
Yes.
need to.
Magnets
And it's
as
got
well,
magnets, of course.
and it breaks
wow.
apart, so-
Get
Yeah.
out. Get out.
Yes, very versatile. Biggest thing, we have a lot of service trades. They're
Yeah.
paid by the job.
Yep.
They don't want to carry a lot of stuff in. We got to get rid of that phone light, find a way to carry it in. So this is one of the new products that are actually launching
me see that.
next
That's
week.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it sucks having
Wow.
a dead phone on site, no podcast for the last few hours, and you can't see in the ceiling.
I know.
So does this use regular, what type of batteries?
So that's actually going to be a built-in battery,
Okay.
so we can get the really compact size. And
Got
we'll actually
it.
have a pouch cell in there. So
Okay,
all
so
that
it's a
new
pouch cell.
innovation, everything in your phone, it's going to be leveraging that USB-C
So
rechargeable.
do you also go out in the field and
Yes.
see to do product
So we-
reevaluations?
We have a group of 4 or 5 people on our team, and we'll go nationwide, up to Canada, even overseas, just to see what the users are doing. Because as you can look at me, very well manicured, I don't know what's going on the job site.
My
So-
first thought.
Yes,
Man, this guy's way manicured.
But-
So basically that's like a product theme with Milwaukee is constantly going back out, and I call that automatic gain control, where you see what's going on and coming back to the factory and then telling the R&D people, okay, we need to modify something. So you're a part of that process?
Exactly. We just sit back and watch and see where the pain points are, and then we take it back to the engineering team and say, X, Y, and Z needs to happen for this product to be successful. and that's how you see all these products come to life.
That's brilliant.
That's what I do for this show.
Yes, you do. Bring us pain points. Show us some more.
We'll go small to large. So portability is something sometimes you don't see with M18. Biggest thing you see, we have chainsaws. We see a lot more cordless tools coming on the site, and you can imagine their pack out, their rolling storage, all cordless tools. No room for anything for lighting. So this is going to be our compact floodlight.
Nice.
Very portable, fits pretty much anywhere you need it for storage, as well for anywhere you're going to actually use it. So it's going to be about 1,000 lumens, so pretty good amount of light.
Yeah, no kidding. And with that battery, it'll last forever.
How long do you think this will last?
10 hours.
This will be 8 hours on a 5.0. On low, it'll run for 98 hours.
No kidding.
Yeah. And
I'm
another
going to take that camping. Give me that.
Yes.
Wow.
And if you want to check the front side of that with those ports, we're seeing so many more iPads on site right now.
Oh, these guys right here. Yeah. Oh,
so
look
it's
at
actually
that.
going to have USB-A, USB-C.
Yep.
Wow.
That is awesome, man. So much thought put into these items. Look at that.
Wow.
1,000 lumen.
You said
1,000
96 hours on low?
low.
Run for 98 hours. We call it the
98,
print mode
wow.
because a lot of people looking at their prints, they don't want 1,000 lumens coming
You don't
back
need
at
it.
them.
Right. Yeah, you don't even need it.
Drop it down to about 100 lumens, and you're going to be able to run that thing weeks.
I love that. I love that. And of course, if it breaks or anything like that, we return it, and it's all
5-year warranty on everything. Return it. So, I mean, I'm sure you've seen lights get thrown a lot of times.
Yeah, I was going to say thrown. Yeah.
well. And I was going to say that this is something that everybody should remember is that this is backwards compatible all the way to M18s all the way back to the beginning.
2007 on.
And 12s, right? You can do not 12s, but the 18s.
We'll have
18s.
a full line of M12 products as well that are compatible with the M12 products. But everything that, if it's M18, it fits.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're not changing anything out. This is still the same exact design from the initial 18s that were coming out.
There's such a big investment in batteries. They're not cheap, so we don't want to kind of ruin all that money they've spent on it, changing that battery.
Well, now we went through the lab yesterday, and they showed us some of the R&D that goes into these cells. And that's not a small amount of work that goes into the cells. So the types of cells, the manufacture of the cells, the lithium it's used, the way that they're manufactured, the way that every battery has some electronics on it as well. And my guess is that your light also has that.
Yep. So they all got to communicate with each other, and all that hard work that you guys saw has to go into the tool, because if you spend all this money on developing the battery and the light doesn't work, you kind of got a poor product. So everything's working together with that Red Link intelligence that you saw Tyson talk about at the start of this.
Red Link. I'm glad you remembered that, because I was straining to pull that baby out. But yeah,
this next one, I know for a fact is going to be a lifesaver.
Look at that.
So this is
Look
our
at that.
It's a
clamping
beast.
floodlight. So the biggest thing we see is
Okay, fitters, we're talking to you.
yes,
Yep.
job sites and where they want to hang it is evolving. And one of the big things when we go
That's
on job
brilliant.
site, we see the rigs that a lot of the users are doing. They're using wire, anything they can find to hang these lights. We're going to do this all in one. The biggest thing about this is you have a 3-inch clamp on this. So you can get around any pipe, any wood stud, any metal stud, pretty much anything that fits in here it's going to hold. Another big benefit, everyone's favorite feature, really
Magnetic,
strong magnets on the back.
Super strong magnets.
And then you're going to get 2,000 lumens at 6 hours of runtime, so a ton of performance. But you want shadow-free lighting, this thing's going to be able to mount pretty much anywhere you want.
Wow, man, that really, wow.
And you can feel that force.
Yeah, that is serious. Try that.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on your nose.
It'll clamp right to a ladder well,
Yeah,
too.
let's let it down a little bit. Yeah, that's some serious clampage. I love that.
Which is great, because usually what happens is, you're not paying attention, you're focused on your work, and then you accidentally elbow it, and
Off it goes.
yeah, it's important for it to not
tumble
fly.
bunnies down the
12
ceiling.
feet. And
But working above the ceiling, and I do a lot of that work, coming up and finding a piece of conduit or raceway you can clamp onto is a stroke of genius. Yeah, absolutely.
Versatility at its finest on this one.
And so what's the other product there?
Oh, last but not least, so this is going to be our 3-panel light. Biggest thing, we'll show you right now, protected lenses, but it's got as I coin it, more orientations in a community college, because you can really adjust this anywhere you need it. The light heads fold. You could get 360 if you wanted.
Oh my gosh.
Another nice thing, you got magnets on the back.
Yep.
Hang
Oh,
hook,
yeah.
so you think of anywhere that you can't get string lights, temp lights. Hang this in a mechanical room, electrical room. You get full lighting. Really strong magnets. Also for people that want to save their batteries, you got a AC
good.
cord.
So you could
Yeah.
plug it in if you needed to.
This one is by far our brightest we've launched, but 4,500 lumen. You could light up pretty much any area you want. And the beauty is you can put it in a bucket. You can put it any pack out. Very portable for what you have.
That's right. All this is all like pack out compatible, right?
A lot of these will fit in pack outs. We have pack out specific lights as well
Okay. So you
for
have
those
both.
users that want it. But the key
That's
is
awesome though that you can do all that.
And they let me throw it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You were able to throw one?
Throw it up in the air. They were like, yeah, it'll be fine.
And do a drop test on it and see if it'll actually make it.
Tyler has a video of it. We'll probably maybe splice that video at the end of this one. Yep, he's saying yes. Yep.
And so, what are the different modes that you can do? Is it just for
so you can
illumination?
control
or?
each panel you want. So
Okay.
really big thing is if you don't want to light the whole area, you can keep cycling through.
Okay.
You're going to get
Nice.
2,000 lumens on the outside panels, 1,500 on the inside. Adjust intensity. So if you only have a 5.0, you can do one panel, run it for a full day on low. So really just giving you all that versatility around there.
Wow. So, how did you get into this industry? What drove you into Milwaukee? I mean, how did you didn't stumble in here? How'd you?
In terms of Milwaukee, obviously got me off the college campus, but the biggest thing they showed, it was just innovation and how much new products they launched. A lot of times in the industry, you'll see 3-year product timelines.
Yeah.
We can do a lot of this in 14 to 16 months. So
I can imagine that.
yeah, you're launching products nonstop. And probably the biggest thing is if you have an idea that you bring back from the field, there's no one saying, hey, that's not a good idea because no one's doing it. They really just push you to, hey, why not? Why not make a light that fits on the outside of a utility bucket because no one's done that before. You saw it happen once that someone needed it. You'll launch a product in 14 months. So that's kind of what got me.
So you can see your baby that if you come up with an idea, and I would say pitch it, but that's probably the wrong term. You move forward on that idea, they develop it. Then you go back out in the field to see how it's working because there's a lot of feedback in that loop, and then your product is on the shelf. Let's say within 2 years easily.
Exactly. And baby is a great term for it because us product managers get very protective because we've seen this develop and grow and become an actual product, but it all comes right back from the field. Any unique idea, no one's going to stop you as long as.
So now, how long have you worked for Milwaukee?
I've been here for about 12 years.
Wow. Everybody I've talked to has been here forever and ever. They don't ever want to leave. I take it the company's fun to work for as well.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
They give you keys to the Porsche, just tell you don't scratch it.
Good.
It's a lot of power at the start, but crazy innovation that they allow you to kind of freely explore.
So and you have you been in this particular product development the whole time, or
I've
have
done
you?
lights for 10 years.
No kidding.
Yep.
So that's been truly your baby. So then we've used your product out in the field and
Yeah, it's
Guaranteed.
they're everywhere. Like going through airports, you're like,
you're like,
"I remember
that's
that."
me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Probably going through high school now.
Where did you
yeah.
go to college at?
I went to Ohio State.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Go
so-
Buckeyes.
Wow. So now, and you just parlay that into this field, and like everybody else I've talked to, the longevity here is incredible.
Yeah, you get in and you start seeing it, and you start getting becoming at least somewhat knowledgeable in the category, and you become the owner of lighting, and you're the expert.
And so you get to read all about LEDs and tell us some of the technology that goes in behind a Cree LED. This is a Cree LED, I take it?
So we use whoever's got the best LED for our products. So we'll have Cree, Nietzsche, Luma
Okay.
LED, Sol. Biggest thing is we, right when we got into lighting heavily in like 2014, our big thing was the light color. So I'm sure you guys know the halogen, very warm. And then you saw LEDs come and you saw a lot of those bluish lights. A lot of that, every LED is actually blue. And we
Okay.
put the
Oh.
phosphorus over it to make it white. So it's a lot.
So it comes out like 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin, and then you warm it down.
We warm it down to 4,000 K, and then we.
So it comes out higher than that normally.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can get up to 6,000, 7,000.
I had no idea it was that
Yeah.
blue. Wow.
And if you're-
so does do you know what Kelvins are?
I'm very familiar with Kelvin.
Okay.
Yeah. No, please,
So
please explain it.
Please explain it.
It's
You
going
did
to be a light color. It's a full spectrum, but daylight is around 4,000 K.
Okay.
So that's going to be more. It's more of a neutral light. The other big thing with LEDs is the CRI, the color rendering index. When you buy an LED, it comes in a bunch of different bins. So you can have the same LED, and this one's going to be premium. This one's going to be less and cheaper.
Okay.
We use an 80 CRI, so the light that's coming back to you is going to be truer, so you could actually see the true colors coming back to you. So for electricians, huge when you're working in an electrical panel.
So it doesn't taint the colors to it. So you're throwing in a different color, and then it affects when you, especially when you have multicolored wires.
Ooh,
you
like
can't tell
me.
the difference because if you put a blue light in, you won't see blue. Like light subtractive to that degree, and you're like, I thought it was blue, and it turns out it was red or something. Because like in different colors, light looks, makes colors look off.
Like being in the dark, and I have 58 conductors coming through the ceiling, and
Yeah.
that's
so you basically cover the LEDs with a way to balance it to make it a little bit warmer, so
Yes.
it's not quite as cool.
You put the phosphorus over it. You get the light color you want, the bin you want, which will have the phosphorus over it, and then we make sure that all hits all our specs. We put it through life testing
Okay.
to make sure it's going to have that product and that light color that users expect, which really wasn't done when we got into it, and that's kind of how we got a foothold in the lighting game, was looking at light color.
Because if you buy a light off of Amazon, and I'll pick it on Amazon, but if you just buy a light, like a headlight or something like that, and put it on, and it looks really cool until you get it home and realize that its spectrum is wonky, and you don't know it because I got 3 of these for $10. What could possibly go wrong? So you're saying that the product development is thinking so far ahead in this that we're, you're just ahead of the competition. I mean, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and it's just trying to chase away those low-cost lights that you see out there, and just trying to really ask. Users were not being able to see the colors they wanted, and that's kind of where it started. And then it's adding those features, adding that durability, and that's kind of how I guess the sausage is made for this this lighting category.
That's the one thing we do want to see, how the sausage is made. Well, this is really unique. What a cool market. And obviously you've oh wow.
yeah.
I mean, the magnets are neat too. Like how all that goes together.
Do you see how strong they were?
No.
Oh yeah. They'll you gotta lean to pull it.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Is
it's
that hard?
perfect. Because I run into stuff all the time.
Keep it away from your laptops. We found out the hard
Oh,
way.
that's the
Yeah,
hard-
we'll destroy
It'll
electrons.
destroy a laptop.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
grandma's
kids.
TV.
So if you're ready to destroy someone's life, just put this on top of their laptop. Except if you have a solid state. It doesn't affect solid state stuff anymore. So
I don't know, but we might have to cut that.
no, we should not. I love it.
So do you guys have any others that you guys are dropping this year that you can talk about?
Yep. So we have 2 other lights that aren't shown here. One of them's going to be our MX portable tower light. So our MX system is our very large battery system, really to
Right.
replace gas. So we have a portable tower light. And by portable in the light equipment, 49.5 pounds. So
Okay.
Oh,
you
yeah.
think of the OSHA 50 pound requirement where you need
Sure.
2 people to drag it. So it's going to be very portable, 15,000 lumens.
Wow.
Kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, sets you apart when you're thinking about
Yeah, it
large
does.
lights. That one is here, and then we have one that's an extendable boom light, which is
Okay.
going to be heavy for our transportation users, for diesel users, because working around diesel trucks, a lot of times 18-wheelers, there's not a lot of metal. So you need a light that can mount with a very strong magnet, and it extends about 47 inches, so you can direct
No
that
kidding.
light pretty much anywhere you need. And that one, by far, is being out in garages nonstop, just seeing what users
A
want.
4-foot extension.
Yeah.
Or almost.
Almost
Right
that's,
there.
That's pretty incredible. So the one of the things I was going to hit on was you were talking about, finding a niche and then filling it. I've noticed in my time here at Pipeline that there's a distinguishing thing about moving away from diesel, gas, and pneumatic tools to battery tools, and that now with the newest battery technology that's out, you're able to do that. Like I've seen tools here that operate on battery that you never would think, like core drillers and freaking compactors and stuff that chainsaws. Not to me, it stands out that, look, if Milwaukee's moving into a tool line, right, the competition should kind of shudder. I mean, because you're not screwing around. And I like that. I like the fact that if Milwaukee's got their hand on it, it just seems to get better and better.
And a lot of that starts with, obviously, the smart people working on our lithium and all the new technology, but also someone not asking, if there's not a battery version, why are we trying to do it? It's like, why can't we do it? So that's really big with lithium improving with all the EV technology, just trying to leverage that and get rid of a lot of those gas in cords.
Which honestly, a gas engine, like a single cylinder gas engine, produces a whole lot more CO and CO2 and NOx than you would think. So because like in your car, we have ways to handle all that exhaust. So we're processing the exhaust, so by the time it leaves, your tailpipe, it's clean. It's really clean, actually. But you can't have all the technology on a single cylinder, dual cylinder engine, so they don't. So they're actually worse for the environment than people give them credit for. So I just wanted to make that point.
With you guys on the West Coast, you guys are probably starting to see it sooner with the restrictions, even having gas on job sites. So that's why we're pushing so many more products out, because we have users who say, I can't have a single gas engine out there. So halogen bulbs are gone come January.
Yeah. Oh, completely?
Yeah, but they make LED inserts that you can put in, so you don't have to replace.
But once again, the balance is not what you think it is. That's what I found, because I've replaced LEDs, at home, and find that the balance is way off. Like, wow, this is not the color we expected. These aren't the droids you're looking for, kind of thing.
One last thing I want to say is I can't wait for these tower lights to get popular, because in like the beginning of a construction job where there is no electricity and there's like hundreds of feet of extension cables throughout a building so that people can see in the main common areas. Just imagining all of this without all that.
There's also noise issues. So if you have a generator that's having to run a light system,
that's true too.
And that generator's running all night and people are complaining because of the noise, now you're doing gasless technology, which saves you. I was just talking to one of your vice presidents out there. He said, we have a whole job that was actually shut down because they had gas engine stuff. They went to battery operated equipment and they were able to run all night because it didn't bother anybody. And so there's an advantage to going with batteries. And then, we've found other things that we've spun off of that just make my head spin. I'm like, wow, it's incredible. The pipeline event, for those who've not heard of this or haven't been here, is an eye-opening thing. This is an eye-opening event that, for a little guy like me, like, damn, it's impressive. It really is.
I learned something even seeing half the products we're launching. We're in our little
hey, what's that?
Oh,
where'd that come from?
We got gutter cleaner?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, when does that come out? Yeah.
Josh, I really appreciate your time, man. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Half Watt Podcast. We always want to hear from you, and we encourage you to email us at halfwattpod@gmail.com with questions or even your own stories. Funny, crazy, or praiseworthy, we want to hear it all. You can follow us on Instagram at halfwattpod to stay up to date on our feed. And be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And share us with a friend, the best way to help us grow. The Half Watt Podcast is a production of Now Hear This Studios.